Mdickie has created a lot of games over the years with different settings, different rules, and different mechanics. On the surface, they don't seem to be connected in the slightest. But what if I told you they were? What if hidden beneath all the chaos and goofiness, there is actually a story tied them all together? A story filled with war, betrayal, greed, and something dark controlling events from behind the scenes. Well, that's what we are going to talk about today because this is the hidden law and timeline of Mdickie's universe. So sit back and let us begin. In the very beginning, the Mdickie world was primitive and the characters were just starting to form various cultures, traditions, and beliefs. It was during this time that the creator came down, giving the Mdickie characters teachings of peace, wisdom, and even giving some various powers. For a while, things looked bright for the characters, but then an entity opposite to the creator, born from malice and hate, started spreading its own teachings of anger and insanity into the ears of the people. Slowly, he poisoned their minds and actions. Eventually, they turned on the creators and his disciples, and all of his teachings were ignored and forgotten. What remained after was a world where sanity crumbled and conflicts and wars became widespread all over the world. This era would mark the true beginning of the timeline and set the stage for everything that comes after. After the events of the New Testament, centuries of wars and conflicts passed, and the people slowly started to realize the mistake they had made by ignoring the Creator. Over the years, they would try to rebuild their civilization, which was not an easy task. First, they built schools to help nurture the younger generations and suppress their violent tendencies. Then, they created multiple movie and music companies, including other forms of entertainment, to distract the people of the civilization. Then they even made different fighting industries, hoping to let people fight and release their rage in a somewhat safe way. Sadly, it didn't matter how much they tried because the devil's influence was still present in their hearts. Crime and violence kept getting worse, so as a last resort, they would build a massive prison to hold all these criminals and try to rehabilitate them. But sadly, this also would be a waste of time because years would pass and the number of prisoners continued to grow. Many years pass, and once again, society is in ruins. And this time, it's worse than ever before. Schools have long been closed, the prison destroyed, and all forms of government is almost non-existent now. It was during this period of anarchy that people slowly started unlocking the powers from long ago by the creator and the devil. With this discovery, a new type of warfare was formed and the Superhuman war began, further dividing the Mdickie characters into various factions. By the end of SuperCity, after many fights and deaths, only one faction would come out on top and become the supreme rulers. However, they had all forgotten that they had no real control over their lives, that they were not rulers but just playthings, and the devil was going to make sure they learned that. After years of domination and ruling, all superhumans slowly started losing their powers, and eventually everyone became ordinary. This was done by the devil to make them defenseless, for his plan to succeed flawlessly. His plan was to spread terror and death among all his nemesis creation, for them to slowly die while begging for the creator they had all abandoned. And so he released a plague. The dead began rising and attacking everyone in sight. And as time passed, the population started decreasing, and the Mdickie characters were on the brink of extinction. But they had one last resort. In the events of Wrecked and SuperCity, they had been working on a random project on the side. A project that would now be their salvation, a time machine. And so with this, they traveled back in time, close to the period where it all started. When they arrived billions of years in the past, they were met with a world filled with primitive tribes and empires. The time travelers expected to be worshipped like gods, but the tribesmen refused. As a result, war broke out all over the land, and with superior weaponry, they easily wiped out every single tribesman and made plans of building their own civilization. But just when they thought they had conquered history, something unexpected happened. Another civilization from a different timeline, with greater technological advancements, and one where peace and order had actually been achieved, came after running from the plague with their own time machine. And armed with better tech and coordination, they easily crushed the weakened survivors of our timeline and began making plans to rebuild their civilization here. But the devil wasn't done. He had been watching everyone kill each other and enjoyed every single moment of it. And so he didn't want the chaos to end yet. So he brought down the plague once more, and all the bodies that had fallen in all subsequent battles rose up again to destroy the new settlers. It was a brutal battle, but after many deaths, the undead were finally put to rest. And for the first time in a long time, peace returned and civilization slowly but steadily began to rebuild itself. So that's the story I came up with. Some I did, some might say these are all coincidences, or maybe just maybe there really is a dark story beneath the madness of Mdickie games. But we may never know for sure. But hey, that's just a speculation, a smiley speculation. Shit, that was cringe. Anyway, thanks for watching this video and have a smiley day.